Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. And welcome back to another Chelsea news video where we go through all of the latest Chelsea news at the moment. Big news. I mean, we might as well just get straight into it. No messing around today. We have rejected a bid worth £45 million from West Ham for Andrey Santos, the central midfielder who was on loan at Strasbourg, for those of you who don't know, last season. And one of the best players in the French division, one of the best midfielders in Europe in some respective stats. This is a player that clearly is going to be an asset to Chelsea. Hasn't been given an awful lot of game time. He's had a few starts, he's had a few minutes, he's had cameos. We haven't really seen what he can do for us. So I will say that still a bit of a question mark in terms of does he have a real future at Chelsea playing regularly, especially when you look at the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Lavia. Obviously, we brought Asugo in as well. We've got a lot of midfield depth, one of the best midfields in world football on paper. Where does he fit into that? But listen, we can't really answer that question yet because it's so early in the season. But West Ham, they lost 3-0 to Sunderland today. 3-0. They've got problems. They have serious problems. And, I'm looking at their squad. I'm looking at the business they've done in the window. It's not looking great, guys. It's not looking great for them. It's not looking great for Graham Potter. They obviously need to reinforce somewhere. But £45 million is not good enough. I don't think it's a disrespectful bid because, it is a lot of profit compared to what we paid for Andrey Santos. But in this modern market, you've got players like Broha going for 25 million. You've got players like Jackson going for upwards of 60 million, or at least that's the number being linked with Jackson. There's no way that we accept 45 million for a player like Andrey Santos. If we're being realistic and we actually were open to selling, I think you're looking at like 70, 80 million to even have a conversation. So, there goes any genuine feeling from a West Ham point of view that this still can happen, because it can't and it won't. But what it does say is that there's clearly interest in Andrey Santos, and he's obviously a player that's attracting attention in the Premier League. But that is not a deal that is going to be happening. And I'm very glad Chelsea have rejected. That makes perfect sense. I don't know if we'll see Andrey Santos start in the game against Crystal Palace, but you know what would be lovely is if he started against West Ham and got a goal. That would be brilliant. Chelsea said to West Ham's board to inform them that the Brazilian player will not leave the team and has advised them to abandon the pursuit. This is according to Vene Casagrande. He is I think he's a Brazilian journalist of some sort. So he's the one who reported this first very recently. And again, we're going to see if there's, much concrete to that. But it's come out. And what a story as well. I didn't expect that to come from anywhere. But again, like when you have so many players at your disposal, so many quality players, unsurprising that teams are looking at Chelsea and interested with what we have to offer. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever, to be quite frank. But moving on from Andrey Santos, obviously we've got the game coming up against Crystal Palace. Tosin Adarabioyo is set to miss that match because of a precautionary measure. He felt a small issue in training. He did not complete the training session today, but the injury is not thought to be serious. So again, this is one of those situations where he doesn't have to not play. But if we missed out on Tosin, we already know that he's the only other player Maresca's publicly said can play in the same way as Levi Colwill. That would be a huge miss for us, and then we'd be looking at other players to fit into that profile where they're in the middle of the back line when we have the ball. So I don't think there's anything wrong with resting Tosin. I mean, ultimately, you'd rather a player was available than not. But sometimes you have to miss a game or two so that then you can play 10 or 20 games. And I don't think there's going to be any complaints about that. It's going to be a long season, and we need every single player as fit as possible, because we're not only going to be playing 2 extra games in Europe by definition, because in the Conference League you only play 6 to start. Champions League is 8. But also you'd hope that we do more in the domestic competitions as well. So we'll be playing more football, and we're going to need every single player that we can get our hands on. Chukwuemeka, I mean, that was another very strange deal that we heard about. I mean, it was embarrassing, actually. Borussia Dortmund offered £15 million plus a few add-ons as well, and a sell-on percentage. I mean, it was absolutely crazy, that offer. I can't believe they actually did it, but they did. And, Chelsea are believed to be growing frustrated with them. And we're only entertaining permanent offers. We don't want a loan deal for Chukwuemeka. The valuation is about £20 million from where Chelsea want to sell and where Dortmund are looking to actually spend. So there's got to be some sort of middle ground. I think if you're looking at a £5 million pound difference, then, if you really want to sell and Chelsea are actively looking to sell Chukwuemeka, then it makes perfect sense, right? But that is not anything that Dortmund will do. I just don't see them spending the money, to be honest with you. So as far as I'm concerned, I do think that Chelsea need to start speaking to other clubs if there is interested. Dortmund don't strike me as serious buyers. And Chelsea have described, according to Fabrizio Romano, that bid as insulting. So, don't think that deal's going to happen with Chukwuemeka to Dortmund. In terms of Nkunku, we've got an update on him. Chelsea's reduced the asking price, and obviously Nkunku wants to leave Chelsea, but we want a permanent exit for him as well. Bayern Munich started wanting to negotiate a loan deal. There are club talks at the moment for Nkunku. If we're looking at a permanent deal, according to Nizar Kinsella of the BBC, we want 50 million. Bayern are obviously not going to pay that. They want to negotiate less. I think a fair deal for Nkunku is honestly 35 to 40 million. He's a player that isn't a key part of our plan, has been heavily disrespected by the manager and the club, doesn't start for us over a number of other players. He's not going to start over Palmer. He's not going to start over other wingers that we have. He's certainly not going to start as our striker. So we are just paying wages to a player ultimately doesn't want to be here, and we've been actively trying to get rid of him as well. So I think that we need to try and facilitate this move and have a little bit more flexibility. And that flexibility can also come from the fact that he's one of our higher earners, right? He's on almost 200k a week. So if we are looking to free up some space in the wages and obviously have a little bit of cash so that we can then bring a player like Xavi Simons or Garnacho in, then we've got to have some flexibility. But I mean, that's a totally different situation to Chukwuemeka, because Chukwuemeka, Dortmund are trying to mug us off there. They're trying to pull our pants down. And they did, quite frankly, they were horrendous in the Gittins negotiations. There's no way that Jamie Gittins is worth 55 million, but they milked every single penny that they could from us. And now they want to try and get a cheap deal for Chukwuemeka. You can absolutely do one, as far as I'm concerned, Dortmund. You can do one. You're not getting Chucky. He's not coming to Dortmund. But with Bayern Munich, I think there can be some middle ground. That seems to be a deal where, I think that everyone can find a number that we can all agree on. I don't see that happening with Chukwuemeka either. In terms of Garnacho, obviously we know the valuation is pretty far off from Chelsea and Man United. United won around 50 million. Garnacho, according to Chelsea, is worth around 30. And again, that's another one. I think that will go down to deadline day. I really don't see anything changing for a week or two. I think they'll hold firm. But at some point, if they want to get this deal done, there needs to be some movement. So I can see there being some sort of middle ground there. Obviously, Ipswich sold Amari Hutchinson to Nottingham Forest, and Chelsea are going to pocket roughly 4.25 million from the sale of Amari Hutchinson to Forest. We've got a 25% sell on in terms of the profit made by Ipswich. And obviously, we signed him from Arsenal for free, and then we sold him to Ipswich for 20 million. So that was another great deal. And it's good to see Amari Hutchinson back in the Premier League. So listen, plenty of things going on around the club at the moment. Obviously, we've still got some incomings that we need. We've spoken obviously about the attacking side, but Maresca seems to be quite very keen to get a defender, and especially someone to take over that, not take over, but cover Levi Colwell in his absence. Tosin, again, we've mentioned him. Josh Achimpong as well, another player I think could get a lot more minutes this season. Bournemouth have tried to sign him twice, according to The Sun. A club source there said, we have held talks and made our intentions very clear, but it's a bit difficult at the moment because Chelsea just want to do a dry loan because obviously they don't want to lose him. So they've tried twice, Bournemouth, to sign Josh Achimpong permanently, and twice they have been rejected. It is something that Chelsea are willing to negotiate from a loan perspective to get him minutes, but they do not want to lose the player on a permanent transfer. So plenty going on, guys, plenty going on. And listen, I don't really know where we go over the next couple of weeks, but there's certainly going to be some pretty hefty negotiations, and there's going to have to be some compromises from both sides as well. If any of these deals are going to be made, it can't just be Chelsea getting their way. It can't just be everyone else getting their way. There has to be a middle ground, and I think there will be for a couple, but certainly not. I don't think that the Santos deal will happen to West Ham. I don't think Chukwuemeka will leave for Dortmund. I can see Nkunku going to Bayern. I can see Garnacho coming to Chelsea. Simmons I can also see coming in, but I don't think we will be getting a centre-back. And for that reason, I would also say Josh Achimpong will be staying at Chelsea. So let me know what you think, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. And yeah, we'll catch up very, very soon. All the best, guys, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.